Welcome to the Four Brewers podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I'm joined by
Jason Harris,
Greg Nagel,
Joe Vember, Senegalia.
Joe Vember, Senegalia. Yes, it is Movember. Might as well get that out of the way. So if you want to donate to Joe's campaign, he's up at, what's your URL? Movember.com/
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. Shoot, I don't know.
just search for Joe Senegalia on Movember, and you can find it.
I was hoping you guys were going to stash it up with me this month, dude.
Every time I shave in the morning, I hear Joe in my head just being like, grow a mustache for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean,
save a bro.
Maybe I'll do it, but not grow a mustache. I fucking hate having a mustache.
Come
like
on,
it
John.
makes me feel so awful.
I'm gonna grow a Hulk Hogan full fucking mustache.
Dude, every time I have a mustache, I'm like at the grocery store and moms are like, get away from that man. Like, I'm just a dude with a mustache.
I've shaved a mustache, while you're, because I don't ever shave. I just buzz cut my face with like a facial trimmer thing, and I've done the mustache thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that looks fine. But as soon as I cut it off, I'm like, oh, that feels so good. It feels.
You got to get it to like the right length, dude. Like when it's growing, it's bad, but then as soon as you get it, to where you want it.
There's been days, especially during COVID, where I just said fuck it, and not that COVID had anything to do with it, but I was being lazy. And I didn't, like, my hair got out of control to where my mustache, it was like almost like my dad's, where it touched my bottom lip. Kind of like, I guess yours is kind of almost touching your bottom lip. And it was just, no, this is awful. I can't. So maybe if I did, it would be a tight and trim little thing.
Listen, John, the mustache life isn't for everyone.
That's true. So I'll pick a different charity maybe. So yeah, if you want to contribute to Joe's Movember, just go over there and search for his thing, and we'll have a link in the podcast notes as well.
I feel like if I ever decide to look like a fat pervert, I'm just going to go ahead and grow a mustache out.
Come on, Jason.
I decided I want to look like a fat pervert this month. So, anyways, hide your kids, hide your wife.
I do say when I've told Yvonne, like because haircuts, man, I don't regularly get haircuts. And so when I do, I'll get there and it's just, I sit down, look in the mirror in the barber chair, and I'm just like, oh, I look so creepy. I look so bad with long hair. Like, because my hair, there's nothing going on. It's just like stringy and awful. But when I get it cut, it's just like when I trim my facial hair, I'm just like, oh, it feels so
man, you got to go see my guy, the Brewers barber here in Orange.
There's a couple of places in Riverside that do that.
He's got Green Cheeck on tap.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty sick, actually.
But
you know who else has Green Cheeck on tap?
The 4B podcast.
That was
so
a
I've heard some
segue.
distressing news, you guys.
What's that?
I've been told that West Coast IP
is dead.
It is.
I mean, it's tattooed on Joe's body. I mean, if there's any other better sign that it's dead, it's that Joe put it on his body and he's no longer drinking it anymore.
To say goodbye to IPA.
Rip IPA.
So yeah, we're doing Green Cheeck again on the show today, but this is not a normal kind of ordinary Green Cheeck beer show where we just get random beers that are no doubtedly awesome, but random. This is it's not a collaboration thing. It's kind of like what Highland Park Brewery did with Timbo Pills, where they gave the recipe out to other breweries to brew the beer, and Green Cheeck did that with their West Coast IPA is Dead beer. And the list of breweries that got this beer, it was Alvarado Street, which is what we have today, Amalgam, Breakside, Cellarmaker, Cloudburst, Cloudwater, North Park, and I think
Yeah,
I deleted one of
there's
the
a gap
words.
in the
Maybe
doc.
Jason just did that because his obsessive has to highlight things to see
No,
things.
I've
But
been highlighting it to fucking see why there's no words there.
well, okay, good. Let me check the link on here on Untapped.
Wasn't gonna
And
call you out,
Joe,
but
hold
now
on. Cloudwater, North Park, and Joe of Pint House, of course, which we
North
also have
Park,
Pint
yes.
House.
Oh yeah.
So that's the last brewery I cut off in the notes. It seems like it's all the same recipe, which is as far as hops go, which is Simcoe Cryo, Citra Cryo, Citra Dynaboost, Citra Hyper Boost. What are we living in 2048 with some Mosaic for good measure?
Mosaic mega boost.
So it's a bunch of cryo hops, which is cool to see because I've had beers with cryo hops, but they were never like the I don't know, showcase hop. It seems like they were used kind of in addition to Simcoe and Mosaic or Nelson and something. And yeah, we use some cryo too. So this is pretty much all cryo hops except for Mosaic.
Yeah,
I feel like
what's cool about doing these things is all these brews you can tell the house character. Like there's obviously their house yeast is different, whatever, like how many beers deep their house yeast has gone through before this beer came out. And also their brew system. So there's going to be slight differences in expressions of these beers, which is always a beautiful thing.
And also, like, worth noting, if you want a shortcut to like who the best producers of IPA are in the country,
This is it.
it's pretty much this list. Like,
Yeah, right.
For West Coast IPA, like this is a hard fucking list to beat.
I was going to ask you guys like how you think they determine who's the breweries that are like hanging out and doing this.
I think Evan speed dial.
Exactly. It's just, I mean, he knows all the brewers, and so it's like, of course, let's hit up the ones that are my friends and that also happen to make excellent beer.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from Amalgam, I think I've had beers from all of these breweries, and they're all. I mean, there's nothing I can complain about. Where's Amalgam out of? Does anyone
Denver,
know?
apparently. Yeah, they're
Okay.
new to me as well.
I don't think I know Amalgam either. Let me look at the old Untapped.
Yeah. So we're starting off with, of course, with the Green Cheeck variant of this beer. They're calling it a double dry hopped West Coast IPA. Is it always a double dry hopped West Coast IPA?
No, I think they just did this for this whole collab thing.
Okay.
I don't think it's normally double dry hopped.
It says specifically on the can, double dry hopped West Coast IPA. And so, yeah. Let us dive in.
I think they're all going to sort of look similar, but the Green Cheeck one has really, really fine bubbles and some really nice head hanging out. You can tell there's some hop oils floating around in there.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
super
Crystal clear too. You can damn near see me through it.
The head does burn away fairly, not totally, but it doesn't get too thick.
I've got my etched Russian River glass, so it's got like a nice little foam lingering on there, holding
just
on
keeps
pretty nice.
generating bubbles.
Yep.
But it does look really nice. It's pretty much crystal clear.
Look at my glass.
Smells. The Mosaic is the dominant on the nose, I think.
Really?
Like, to me, yeah, I'm getting a lot of
I
that.
smell Simcoe-y.
Maybe there's like a little bit of a dankness, but it's that. I mean, I guess like gooseberry kind of thing, that like sweet candy thing.
Man,
they're not real.
You guys have the same beer? Did I open the right one? Let's see.
It just says Green Cheeck.
I get the Green Cheeck. Yeah,
mine smells Simcoe heavy, Greg. I don't know what yours smells like.
I'm getting a big like yuzu sherbet, like sherbet ice cream and like yuzu. And have you ever had finger limes before? It's like these little finger limes. It's like this. They're sort of like it's sort of like nature's pop rocks. They're like
never without their permission.
Things you pop them in your mouth and they sort of explode this like lime, like this citrusy, sugary deliciousness. It very much smells like that.
Yeah, mine smells like sugary. I was gonna say citrus, like zest.
Yeah, big zesty. It's total zest, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like a yuzu zest.
I don't know if I've ever.
I get fruitiness on the nose, but it's not really anything.
You don't get. Mine's very citrusy.
It's not anything jumping out of the glass. It's pretty mellow on the nose for me. I have to kind of hunt for.
When was this canned? Did you say?
I would say less than a month. 10.
I'm like, I don't know, Joe. You mailed it to me.
Oh shit.
October 20, 10/24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3
The
weeks.
2 was smudged on mine, so.
So 3 weeks.
It's completely acceptable. Like 3 weeks. If anything, it's better for being 3 weeks in the can than it was fresh.
No, you're right. It's not like a jumping out of the glass aroma, but it's got a nice aroma on it. And also, I drank it, and it's fucking delicious. I really think this beer is and I think we've done this beer on the show too, the regular version of it, right?
Yeah, and I think it won as far as like GABF and World Beer Cup is concerned. I think this won an award like in 2018, which is like the first time it was brewed, I believe. And I think it was just a bronze. Like this, it's sort of like a like one of those beers that's like everybody rushes to because it's one of those just bangers. But as far as awards go, it's been a few.
Jason, I don't see on our website that we have had this.
Well, I think this is a perfect example of the new style West Coast IPA, and I think like the modern expression of West Coast IPA, what all the top tier producers are doing, is a beer like this. This isn't a very bitter beer at all.
No, it's not.
It is not biting at all. It is like I had a heady topper yesterday, and that was 10 times more bitter than this.
It's like, wow. It's like drinking a stone beer from a decade ago.
Yeah, Heady Topper is actually shockingly bitter for a New England IPA. But this is just that really dry, the hops, they pick the right hops that give it like a perceived sweetness without being an actual sugar sweetness.
It's hop candy, right?
Yeah, it really is like drinking liquid hop candy. And when it's done well, it's just so crisp and so refreshing, and this one's done fucking great.
And talk about like the bittering on this. I think the bitterness tells the whole story of the style, right? Where it's just dialed in, and it's so dialed in that you don't even really notice it.
Mm-mm.
But the balance, it's so balanced, but you don't realize it's balanced because you're just like sort of in this like hop zen. It's
that's right on the like hitting the nail on the head. Like I'm not noticing bitterness, but it doesn't mean it's not bitter, and I'm not noticing sweetness and fruitiness, but it's there. It's just all it's.
If I give this beer,
if
I give this to my wife, which hates IPAs, she would like completely gag drinking this beer. Like there's no way. The IBUs, like anything over 25, she's like, oh my god.
I thought you were going to say the opposite, but because I was going to say no, my wife would hate this because there is bitterness in there.
My wife,
but like Jason said,
she would not like it.
It's that new school West Coast IPA style where the bitterness is maybe not less. It is less to a certain extent, but it's definitely more dialed in as far as balance in the recipe goes.
I think as the processes and the technology have matured, I really think the breweries have just learned that like the bitterness in large part in your like in the 1000 IBU era, right? Like literally Mickler had 1000 IBUs of beer, right? Like the bitterness was kind of the byproduct in that we just wanted more hop flavor, and that was the best way we knew how to get it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I think the techniques have evolved, and also the willingness to waste money have evolved, where they just burn raw materials, where they figured out like, no, we can get just as much hop flavor in this beer without pulling out all that alpha acid, without pulling out all that bitter, and making something just super enjoyable. And like, I really would love to hear from our folks that are off the West Coast. If these kinds of IPAs are really getting around there. I mean, some of these are not West Coast, right?
Dude.
No.
Pint House isn't, but I feel like if you go somewhere and get a West Coast IPA, it's either going to be like a stone beer from 10 years ago or fucking just a hazy that like,
or they're grassy, like, I don't know, like West Coast East Coast beers making West Coast IPA, they just never get it.
Right.
Joe,
That's
what are your
true.
thoughts on this
Not even
beer?
close.
I don't think you've said a whole lot.
I was listening. I was going to say that one of the things that made me fall in love with the new school West Coast IPAs is I enjoyed hazy beers so much, but it got to the point where we were talking like the yeast and just like it, some of them can get chalky. These new school West Coast IPAs, like they drink kind of like hazy beers with the fruity hops without being like heavy and just like I can't drink hazy beer after hazy beer after hazy beer anymore. I used to be able to do that. And I can't do it anymore just because they're heavy and they're chalky, and it just like you get like the yeastiness, and sometimes it's like hot burny stuff like this drinks like a hazy beer, but it's like super clean and like it's
champagne-y, right?
All that yeast fucks in my tummy a little bit too. Like
Dude,
you start getting like intestinal distress from that shit when you're drinking a bunch of hazy boys, where the West Coast does not have nearly as much of that problem.
But yeah, I mean, this is what, over 7%. Like this is crushable for the ABV. It's crazy.
And like compared to like I drink Swamis a lot, right? As anyone who fucking has heard this show knows.
Same.
But after us Swamis, it's like I need a break. I need to have something different. And we're drinking 5 of these, and I'm not feeling like I need a cleanser. Although I am gonna have some water.
I kind of wonder if like brewers were like that, like, hey, we like hazy beer, but we're kind of not over them because they're still making the shit out of them. But they're like, we want to make a beer that drinks like that, but it's
keep
not.
the lights on, right?
I think it's the best producers in the world looked at like, okay, let's back up. Rather than just emulating what people are doing, why do people like these beers?
Right.
And it's all the hops without the bitter.
Right.
It is why hazy IPA is popular, right? And it just became a shorthand where you could say, well, give me a hazy IPA and I know I'll get that hop flavor without the bitter. And like that and it's tricky because this whole thing, we're using a term that meant kind of something the opposite, right? Like West Coast IPA was very different 10 years ago. And it's hard to describe.
Grown. Yeah, West Coast IPA has really grown into its own appellation. Like there should be a West Coast IPA appellation, just like Champagne is an appellation of Champagne, France, right? There's no reason, like if you look at all these breweries, except for Pine House and maybe one in Denver, these guys on the West Coast are continuously winning awards for West Coast IPA.
I like how it's evolving. Like you can't go any. So we say new school West Coast IPA. Like West Coast IPAs has evolved into this, that you can't evolve hazy beer anymore. Like there's nothing you can do to it, right? That's gonna really change it.
I think its evolution was the milkshake hazy, and that's
pineapple.
Where it's stop until you just start eating dessert.
Strawberry.
I'm just saying it's pretty rad that these dudes took a style that was, successful and has been around forever, and they're like, oh, we can do something different, but still kind of stay true to being clear beer.
Do you think the name is kind of like it's got two meanings, where like that's like the joke that West Coast IPA is dead, but also this is a different West Coast IPA from the IPA that like Evan and us grew up on?
Yeah, for sure.
I think 2018 when this beer was first made, I think Evan was poking fun at the haze. Like so much hazy beer. They're like forced to make hazy beer because like it's literally selling pallets over a weekend. You have to make it, and like these are the beers.
It's funny to remember how much that like the market just demanded hazy beer to where like every brewery begrudgingly was like, "Fuck, fine, I guess we have to make one of these fucking things."
But that's why there's so much shitty hazy beer though, because everyone's like, I don't even know if we know how to make this right. We're just gonna make it because we have to.
Right. And that's why the few guys that got it, right? And I think that's what it is. Like anybody can pick up a recipe and just kind of throw it in and make it, right? But like a lot of these people, and like we literally experienced it on the beer that we collaborated with, they didn't even understand why people would drink that beer at all. And so like when you're coming from that place, like of course you're not going to really produce a high quality product because you don't even get what you're trying to achieve. Right. And I think from that people learned like people want the hops without the bitter, and this is the evolution of that, and it fucking rules.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Well, I want to remind you guys to save a little bit of this. I have 4 glasses, so I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going to save a little bit of mine just to kind of test between the different breweries. So, and maybe do a little cuvee.
Do the cuvee, dude. Cuvee it did.
So, what do we want to do next? We have Pint House, North Park, and Alvarado.
I say let's see what Texas has to do. Yeah, let's see what Texas.
Pint House. All right.
Okay, I don't think I put the Alvarado notes in here actually, but it's all the same shit. It's the same beer, so. I mean, it is. It's the same.
It's hard to research because everything's just on like Instagram now. So you're like, oh fuck, I can't Google this. Like, I have to actually like.
I will say it's interesting. We always talk about Green Cheeck packaging, how when you open it, it kind of foams out of the can. This one did not do that. I don't know if anybody noticed that.
Or I've never noticed them being foamy, but
you never noticed that? John knows that. Or we've talked about that. The green
Cheeck packaging.
The Green Cheeck packaging, how when you crack a can, like it kind of foams out.
Yeah, it's like super efficient canning. You know,
saying this one from Pine House did not do that. This
one looks a shade lighter.
Ooh, and Greg, when you talk about different house yeast, this smells so different.
Definitely a shade lighter too.
Do we know this is different house yeast?
He's just saying the way that people use different yeast, right?
Are all the malts the same? Because I don't recall you talked about that.
I didn't bring up the malts because I'm figuring it's just 2-row, like, you know, or maybe I mean,
there's got to be Pilsner in here. This is way lighter than any 2-row.
I was going to say Pils maybe, but
this is like a 1 SRM. Like it's very yellow, very very.
Yeah, this is much more pale. Like the last beer I would describe as like golden, and this is pale. Yeah. It's almost like if you like clarified a
like John's holding them both up.
This one's got a little bit of haze on it too. Hang on a second. Here you go.
So yeah, definite difference of color.
Yeah.
Way different smelling and tasting to me too.
Oh, so I don't want to spoil my notes. What do you got on the notes there, Joe?
Spoiler alert.
Oh wow, this is way more like stone fruity. I want to say like lighter and more.
See, to me, this like refreshing one is a bit more danky smelling.
That's what I was gonna. Mine's more like earthy, dank, like raw hops.
Yeah,
so weird.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that too.
Well, Greg smells something I think similar to what you're smelling.
I almost get a hazy nose on it, like similar to like the vanilla cake batter thing.
Yeah. So mine's like marzipan, sort of like a marzipan birthday cake.
I think I didn't let it bloom enough to properly assess the nose because now I'm getting all kinds of different things on the nose.
The one thing I'll note is
it keeps changing.
Is that the Green Cheeck version kept like a nice little thin head, where this one has pretty much just wandered off. Like I've got a little bit of head around the edge, but for the most part, it's kind of mellowed out. It's also cloudier, but
dude, mine
compared like papaya on the nose, like the overripe, sort of funky.
That's the zone I was getting with it too.
Like a
oh yeah,
not like a ripe papaya, but like papaya like soda or some papaya cake or something like that. That's been sweetened.
Greg,
up.
when you said funky, it's like if you're smelling like some sort of fruit that has like dirt still on it. Like there's some sort of like funky, like earthy something.
Like very expressive beer, but totally different from
Green Cheeck. Smelling it alongside the Green Cheeck, I like directly beside the Green Cheeck, I almost get like a mild perfumey thing off the Green Cheeck beer now.
Oh yeah,
it's just because the aromas from the Pine House beer are affecting that. But
you guys ever been to Pine House?
They smell very, very different.
No, but I've heard their pizza's fire.
Yeah, I did.
No, I went there with Kyle. Kyle from the chat brought me there. I was hanging out with him in Texas.
Do they have good pizza?
Yeah,
it was bombed. Yeah,
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, good pizza. It's it's like if Pizza Port wasn't at the beach.
What different though? I think most people that are at Pine House are there for the pizza, and the beer's like a bonus. There's not like beer geeks hanging out and enjoying. Everybody's getting
Don't
pictures
you think
of beer.
Pizza Port for the most part is the same thing where it's because it's always like a bunch of families and
honestly though, most of the customers when you go to Pizza Port are like little league teams and shit.
Yeah,
like they're just straight up.
I think it's first and foremost a pizza place, and they just happen to have legendary brewers that come out of there.
Could you imagine? Like, we just been going to this place called Pizza Port. They're, they've like the pizza's
dude.
Okay.
A guy I used to work with, we were there for me and John Ridey were there for one of the Full Pint anniversaries, and he retired. I don't know, 5 years or so before I saw him that day, but he was just there with his family in San Clemente, celebrating someone's birthday, and I'm like, hey Mike, what's up? And he was like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, I'm here for a beer thing. He's like, oh, we're here to eat.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing here?
Okay.
Talking about Pizza Port, wouldn't you agree? Would you agree that Pizza Port is the birth of the style West Coast IPA?
No, that's Russian River.
they're sort of northern.
I mean,
well, no,
I attribute like West Coast IPA is like Southern California West Coast IPA.
well, I mean, the official fucking history, right? Is that Blind Pig Brewing Company did the first double IPA.
Would you
double
say
IPA,
that Pliny is a West Coast IPA? I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't call it. They don't like call it that.
you
It's just
don't
IPA.
think Pliny is a West Coast IPA?
I think it's like the definitive. Like, I feel like it's in the BJCP
know.
guideline for
First
West
of all,
Coast IPA.
hey, listen, it's a double IPA.
It's
Let's
a
get it right.
double.
It's a double
right?
IPA, yeah.
Oh Jesus, semantics. Jesus Christ.
But Swami's was brewed in '87, right? When did like Pliny and
Good point. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
It is literally in the BJCP guidelines for double IPA.
But if we're gonna say who came out first, when did Blind Pig come out? And was Blind Pig a double when it came out, or was it a single?
Came
This is
from
always a
Vinny
single.
working at Blind Pig, right? Like that's
yeah,
where
it was
that
Blind Pig Brewing in Temecula. Or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
so he
Yeah.
so he was brewing that before other beers before Blind Pig. So he was making West Coast IPA before that.
Was it before '87? I don't know.
And Pizza
I don't
Port's
know.
big thing was the red, right? Like Shark Bite was their old school beer in the early days.
I mean, if we're going to say that West Coast IPA is dead, we need to find out when it was born, right?
Was it ever born?
When was the birth?
when did Stone start making their IPA?
They were
West Coast
96, weren't
IPA
they?
is aborted.
That's been around for quite a while, right?
Would you say
Saint
Stone is a West Coast? I guess it's an
Yeah.
IPA that was.
Yeah.
For sure.
Here's the thing,
Greg,
Would you
you're
call it
starting
a
to mess
West
with my
Coast-
brain right now.
Would you call it a West Coast IPA, or would you say it was a beer that was an IPA that was born on the West Coast?
What's the difference?
Two different things, right? So these
but-
are intentional West Coast IPAs, right?
So you're
Whereas, like,
saying
other
Stone
breweries,
brewed
like
to the
Dallas, like,
style.
Would you say Sculpin is like the
Sculpin.
ultimate West Coast IPA?
What? When is
So-
Sculpin getting here?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I get what Greg's saying, right? Like Greg is talking about like the first generation.
Semantics.
So like if we go to the 90s,
Before people
right?
called it a West Coast IPA,
If
what
we
was
go
the first
back to
one
the
that we
90s,
called a West Coast?
It's Stone IPA, it's Lagunitas IPA. Those are your like early flag bearers of the style,
Totally.
right? Like those are both like Stone IPA has
Hop
been
Stupid.
since '97. That beer's been since I was in high school, so that beer is pretty much a trailblazer there. Lagunitas IPA, I think they've been making since like '94.
Okay,
Some
so
shit.
Saint
I'm
Swami's
going
was
off
87.
Chat GPT, which is getting better and better. They're saying Sculpin was first made in 2005.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so what Greg is saying is like rather than being an IPA that is made on the West Coast that is there, it's like somebody deliberately setting out to make a West Coast IPA, which
Was it
Sculpin
Green
kinda
Flash?
is.
Hold on. Okay, Blind Pig first brewed in 1994.
94.
Okay,
But
and so
Swami's was
let's
still
say-
Swami's was 87.
Hold
But
on.
I think Green Flash coined the term though, West Coast IPA, right?
I mean, they named their beer that.
They did. I wonder if like they just
Swami's,
realized
according to ChatGPT, which take it with a grain of salt, first brewed in 92.
Oh, I heard it was 87.
It
No
could
shit.
be, but
If they've been brewing Swami
and the
since
source.
92,
Oh wow,
that's
this is
goated.
cool. They put the source. The source is from Pizza Port. That's fucking awesome.
Bam.
That's cool.
Oh, you're-
All right.
Grog Swami's Pizza Port 1992. I thought it was 87 because they made the one they did like a there was like a Swami's anniversary beer a couple years ago and they're like first brewed from a recipe in 1980. Maybe it was a different beer. Who
Now,
fucking
Beer
knows?
Advocate says 92. I bet you Shark Bite is 87, dude.
Maybe that's what.
So
who knows?
did Pizza Port invent West Coast IPA?
I'm gonna send a strongly worded email to Natalie Chilurzo.
Why?
Well, they
She
own
knows-
double IPA.
She knows things.
Oh, you're not
Listen
condemning her.
here.
You're just
Listen here,
demanding.
bitch.
No,
I
I'm
need
just
to
saying,
know who
who was
made-
first?
Where is
Maybe-
it?
Maybe they
Whatever.
decided on it was West Coast IPA when they drank like
Now
Dogfish.
that it's
Yeah.
dead, who birthed it?
That's how we get kicked out of the
Who
fucking
birthed it?
California Craft Beer Summit.
I'm saying because when you drink beers from the East Coast, they're so different. They're so much like more malt driven and sweet, and not the way West
they're
Coast
not
beers
good,
are.
yeah. Their beer, like the
It's also worth-
carbonation's not there. The yeast character is kind of funky.
But
We
like
do
I even
have
had
to
I had a
acknowledge-
Dogfish 60 recently, and I was like, "What is this beer?"
Oh yeah, 60 is a fucking hot mess in the
That's
year of
weird.
our 2024. I don't know, like it's barely drinkable. But like it is also worth noting that we as Californians are sort of assuming West Coast IPA from the Northwest, who probably was doing it first. but worse.
Fuck them.
Sorry,
who in the Northwest would be doing it before that? Like
the Cascadians.
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
I mean, Deschutes. How long have they been fucking doing it?
Yeah.
Like fucking.
Right, that's what I'm saying. What's the
Rogue,
difference between Stone IPA and like
Rogue? Come on,
or Deschutes?
Yeah, but those guys have been doing it since like the fucking.
I haven't had I don't even know if I've ever had an IPA from Rogue.
You guys, we also should mention Sierra Nevada at some point.
Man.
I mean, Pale Ale's for what, 83 or whatever.
But
82?
Sierra Nevada didn't really like Pale Ale.
They've never tried.
When was Celebration first brewed?
Dude, that's like
80s.
80s, right? I mean,
yeah.
that's a fucking
Early
West Coast
90s.
IPA, dude.
No,
it's not.
It's like a red.
What?
Yeah. No, Celebration
it's like a
drink a Celebration next to this and tell me they're fucking related.
Well, I mean, it's obviously
like a red ale,
but it's so like hop. Like there's so much
Hoppy
hop
red.
intensity.
Celebration was 81.
Holy smokes.
According to ChatGPT, it could be wrong, and they didn't give me a source, but that sounds about right.
Dude, seriously, what were people in 1981 saying when they were drinking that for the first time? Like, what the fuck is this? That had to be insane.
What kind of shit swill is this?
Right?
It's really goddamn bitter. Frank,
I
was
was
like 6 college students in Chico that were fucking drinking it. So
I was 2 years old, and Jason wasn't alive.
Yeah.
So. Ken, did you put some?
What was the actual date? Does it tell you the date?
What's the born on date for?
What was the born on date for Celebration?
Let's see.
Which is one of the greatest beers ever. By the way, did you see Don't Drink Beer was like, fucking Celebration came out today. Nobody would fucking care about it.
It says mid-October. There's no solid date.
You know what, though? I think
goddamn delicious.
Okay, so let me go on a little thing about Celebration for a minute. People do lose their fucking shit when Celebration comes out every year.
It's amazing.
It's great.
I don't think it's that good. However,
you're wrong.
It's fine.
It's good. It's good. I'll have 1 6-pack a year,
worthy,
and that's enough. Like, but if I lived in the haze deserts of fucking most of America, where all the IPA I had was fucking sweet white cake batter hazy garbage, well, then maybe I'd look forward to Celebration all year too.
I look forward to Celebration all year, bro.
I'm not the biggest fan of it. You know what? At me, I'm Arrow Munch. Find me on Blue Sky. Fucking.
when I see Celebration on the shelf, you know it's time to start getting the Christmas list together.
That's right, dude.
You're busting out your Christmas gear.
The fireplace is coming on.
You're buying your turkeys for Thanksgiving. It's a time. It's a sign of good things to come.
All right, so steering the ship back towards the show. Pint House.
Are we doing a show?
Pint House compared to the Green Cheeck version. I think they're just completely different beers, which is also amazing considering they have pretty much the same hop bill.
Yeah, if they didn't change the recipe pretty significantly, I would be shocked. Like the malt, it looks different, it smells different, it tastes different.
Yeah, but
this one's more bitter, it's more dank.
Yeah, the earmarks of this beer, though, the drinkability, 100%. Delicious.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I want more of this. So
you're right, Jason. It's more dank, earthy. Mine almost like by the end, because it had warmed up a little bit, it had like a little bit of like that sweaty thing that I like from Simcoe.
Yeah,
Simcoe
papaya,
gives me that. Yeah, whatever that is.
Like I'm trying to find if Pint House did a post about it where maybe they like hint that they did other stuff, like because I feel like there's got to be something else here. Like there's got to be something else going on. It's so different.
So different breweries get their hops at different times. You know, whatever their mosaic line that they got in is totally different from Green Cheeck's. I think that's the terroir difference, right?
So I don't think they use the exact same ingredients because it says inspired by the original recipe.
And it says they're giving it a proper Texas treatment.
Ooh.
Yeah. And also it mentions that they
it's got some dry rub in it.
It is letting Simcoe and Citra shine through, which is true. And I feel like Simcoe is way more present in this beer.
I agree.
I'm getting way more Simcoe out of this beer. It's more of honestly more of a older school kind of flavor. Like when you go heavy on Simcoe, it gives it like it kind of sticks you in like 2005 to 2010, 15 ish. That era was like the era of Simcoe.
Yummy.
You like those years, John?
Good times.
Are we going North Park or Alvarado next?
I say North Park because I
Okay.
kind of think I know what to expect from Alvarado, and I don't know what to expect from North Park because I haven't had a whole lot of their beer.
I gave you one.
I would say North Park is.
I
would
still.
argue
I
North
didn't
Park
open it
is-
yet, Joe. I didn't
How
open
dare
it
you.
yet. It's still
How dare
there.
North Park is making the
I'm still
best
trying to
IPA
figure
in
out
San
what I
Diego.
want to do for video stuff. I don't know what I want to do, man. Just cut me a break.
Joe, would you consider that a hot take that North Park is making the best IPA in San Diego?
No, that is not a hot take. That is, I 100% agree with you.
Like North Park is.
I mean, they're hazy
beer,
beer.
the best place for IPA in the world.
They're hazy beers
and
going well, too.
lagers.
Yeah.
So this morning I woke up to Facebook, which is always kind of weird because I barely look at Facebook, but it was like, I have a new friend suggestion for you today, and it was Kelsey McNair.
Wow. Look at you.
I'm like, should I send him a friend request? No, I didn't. I'll wait for him.
Oh, it
to
was
send to me.
suggested. I thought you were saying he
Otherwise-
sent you a request.
No. Thankfully not. But I've met him before. He's a nice dude.
I think I told you guys. I saw him in line.
Also, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, gosh, this. I saw him in line when we went to Foo Fighters. I was standing in line for merch, and he was getting like his wristband to go on the floor because he's a unit. And I was like, fuck.
He's a unit. I love that.
I'm like, I'll be up in the fucking bleachers.
Man, I was in the pit of Black Dahlia murder. You gotta harden the fuck up, Joe. My neck hurt for 3 days after that shit.
Man,
though.
Joe's going there to have fun and drink beer. Like, I'm down.
Look at this beer, you guys.
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
This
like the head
beer,
is
this is
lingering.
like this. Yeah, the microfine bubbles. I think it's a little bit more carbonated than the Green Cheeck.
It's a little
you can
lighter
see
than
the
the Green
fountain of tiny bubbles just pouring up a little bit faster.
To my eye, it looks exactly like the Green Cheeck.
But
to me,
the
it's
head
got a
is
little bit-
sustaining
It's a little lighter in color, and yeah, the head is lingering a little bit more.
because of a little bit.
It's
more
also a
CO2.
little bit cloudier, I think, than the Green Cheeck. The Green Cheeck was really brilliant for a double dry hop beer, especially.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
It was super brilliant. Like
This beer
it's
smells
very bright.
so much more fruity than the Pine House one did to me.
I'm gonna reserve saying something about the nose until I thoroughly.
It almost
swivel
smells
around.
like cotton candy to me. But
To me, this smells a lot like the Green Cheeck beer smelled. Like
Really? No, this
Yeah.
smells like the Pine House beer to me.
does it?
No, I'm not getting that at all.
This doesn't smell Simcoe heavy to me. This smells more. What is it? Mosaic and Citra.
Mosaic. Yeah, I had it up. I lost it.
Yeah, there's like a sugary
to me-
sweetness to the nose of this one for me.
Yeah, this like as far as the Pine House in this one, I think they're very closely related.
The North Park comes
nose-wise?
off a little more hazy, like on the nose with the maltiness.
Worth noting, Pint House didn't mention Mosaic, is what I'm realizing now. That they had Simcoe and Citra, but they didn't have Mosaic.
I'm telling you, Pine House for me was super Simcoe heavy, Jason.
They're not using the same hop bill, like with the cryo and all that shit.
No, I don't think so. Again, they're saying inspired by. I think
What's
they're
the
just
damn
trying
point then? What are we doing?
We're hitting the same vibe, John. We're not just making the same beer.
Settle down.
That's the whole point. Same
They're
ingredients.
making a statement that West Coast IPA is dead. It's dead.
You guys ever had
Killed it,
Texas
dude.
IPA playa?
Yeah.
Like they can't even get Mosaic out there.
Man, is
Like,
there Texas
what's even
IPA?
happening?
Pine
We just
House?
got brisket.
What is Texas IPA? What even is it?
Man, that
What's
nose
Texas?
Yellow Rose is Texas IPA.
Oh, that's right. That's a
You
good.
guys
I
remember that
actually like
shit?
that beer, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, we are drinking the North Park variant of this beer in case we didn't mention it earlier. And for me, this is coming off again. We're starting with Green Cheeck, which I think is what I would expect from a West Coast brewery, and then Pint House, which is more getting into that kind of Central contiguous 48. You know what I mean? And then North Park, which is from San Diego, kind of going more towards the East Coast for me on the nose anyway, with that bigger malt, like vanilla cake batter character, big fruitiness, and just very clean and refreshing.
Again, really worth noting that from what I'm reading on Untapped and Instagram, which is about the best sources of info you can get, Pint House didn't use Mosaic or they didn't feature Mosaic. They said they tried to feature Simcoe and Citra. where the original beer was very mosaic heavy. Like the Green Cheeck beer was incredibly mosaic heavy to me when on the mouth.
I think this, like you said, John, you say vanilla cake batter. I said cotton candy. It's like there's a sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's getting more East Coast, but we're coming back geographically to the West Coast.
And so tasting, I tasted it now, and it is a little bit more hazy IPA. It's like the Green Cheeck one dialed it. It's a little bit more in that zone. It's got a little bit of that sweetness.
I agree with Jason, but I see why Greg is trepidatious to what he's saying.
Oh my god, dude!
Got a nice ample bitterness to
that West Coast crisp. It's crisp. It's so crisp. It's not hazy. It's so crisp. It's like a fucking samurai sword.
It's sweeter on the front and more bitter on the back. It's an interesting combination, because where I think like Green Cheeck just kind of mellowed them both out a little bit and it made it more crushable. This one is a little bit more challenging, but it works. It's a different approach. It's like the way the hops and the malt hit your palate is in like a different way. It's like a different combination. And like
that's what I'm getting at.
And it's really cool trying them side by side. It's really fun.
Whatever they're doing water chemically in North Park amplifies the flavor of the hops so much.
You know what? I'm not even thinking about water treatment. That's a very good point.
Holy shit! This beer's like amplified. The like whatever they're doing, like this beer just like hits your palate, and the hop flavor just explodes through your palate and goes back retronasally, and you're like, oh my god, there's like lemon verbena. It's like you're walking through a fucking Bed Bath and Beyond of weird hop flavors and shit. It's
I wouldn't go that far.
It's like you're on acid.
Dude, I fucking love it. I love it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's really fun to see like all these different people at the top of their game doing like a different approach at the same thing, because these are all fucking like every one of these beers is S tier. Like I would say we haven't had anything that wasn't S tier so far.
100%.
But it's just these subtle differences in the approach. And I mean, I still argue, I mean, being the best IPA producer in San Diego is pretty much being the best IPA producer in the world.
Right?
And I think North Park is it. Like they really are fucking just home run hitters, dude.
That's Petco Park fun. Cranking them.
It'd be a fun like discussion to have, like the best IPA people as far as clear beer goes, because Russian River is legendary. Man. North Park.
I mean, John, you just had another sip. Tell me.
I just had a sip of the Green Cheeck, the Pint House.
Tell me about your Bed Bath and Beyond excursion, John.
And it's just such. This sounds stupid. It's like a journey. It's like
your teeth and gums.
The Green Cheeck for me comes off very much what I would expect from a West Coast IPA from 2024. The Pint House, again, and after I go back, I get like a kind of spiciness on the nose too, which is kind of weird. But drinking the Pint House directly after the Green Cheeck, it came off more hazy, more malt forward, fresh fruit. I think I said stone fruit on the nose. Maybe I said that for the North Park, but like it was just like, that's different. That's not as West Coast-ish while still being West Coast with having that bitterness on the back end. The North Park, we should have saved this for last because
I know, right?
Alvarado Street's going to be a heavy contender because I think I know what I'm going to get from them.
We'll get it.
I would expect like
just to wrap up my thought. The North Park is just. It's the best parts of West Coast IPA and what I like from hazy IPA. I'm not going to say it's the best of West Coast and hazy because I think there's more things I like about West Coast IPA than there is hazy IPA. But the stuff that I like about hazy IPA, it's kind of subtly mentioned in this beer, and that's incredible. Like I don't know how Kelsey McNair does this. This dude. Jesus Christ.
Well, Johnny takes his pants off and he does a brew day.
It's like the
this is excellence.
Like, this compared to the Green Cheeck beer, it's like just the knob on the hop character, the knob on the bitterness is just like a little like a notch higher than it is on the Green Cheeck beer. It's totally. It's a little bit more aggressive, but I think it makes it a more characterful beer. where the Green Cheeck beer comes off a little bit more crushable. Where this one is a little bit more challenging to the palate, but like I love this. This is fucking great.
I was gonna say I didn't know if it's because. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I didn't know if it's because this was like the third one we were having, but when Jason had mentioned there was more bitterness, I feel like this beer is a little bit. But I don't know if that's my palate being a little fatigued, but I feel like there's a little bit more bitterness on this one.
Really?
It is. It's a little bit more bitter than the Green
just a little bit.
Sure.
Nothing crazy, but
yeah, and also the mouthfeel. Let's talk about the mouthfeel of this. Like it's so like.
Yeah.
If you're hot as hell, like you've been working in the yard all day and you're hot and sweaty and you come inside to air conditioning.
Oh, you're crushing this.
When you're putting this beer in your mouth, it's like air conditioning for your mouth.
The Green Cheeck beer, I'd say, was a little bit more slick on the mouth than this
slick.
one. Like
slick
shoes. I
shoes.
don't know. It's hard to
It's
say.
got a hop oily, right?
Yeah.
You can feel those like acids. Like
yeah,
With
I
those
can
acids.
see that, Jason. That's yeah, I get that.
it's got some hop tannin to it.
I think that's
You
what
don't
makes
hear
it
hop-
crushable, right? Sorry.
You
go
don't
ahead.
hear the word hop tannin that much, but there is legitimate hop tannin. There is some like mouthfeel that you can get from hops.
A little bit of
and,
astringency.
Yeah, a little bit here and there, but not a lot on these beers.
It's not always a bad thing. Like a little bit of astringency is not a bad thing.
I mean, I don't get astringency. I get the slickness from the whatever oils or whatever Jason thinks is happening with the Green Cheeck
dude.
beer.
These
But
beers
astringency, there is no astringency in any of
these
these
beers have no speed bumps. It's just
These are fantastic.
just chug it, dude.
It's all gas, no brakes, Greg.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So if I had to guess Alvarado Street, they tend to be on the they're of the newer generation. Like I always think of them as kind of hazy boys. They are good at West Coast IPA, but they tend to be a little bit on the sweeter side. That would be where I would guess they're going to go with this. Let's see. I haven't opened it yet.
Did you read the bottom of their can? It says West Coast is alive and well.
Just so you guys know, I am palate cleansing with peanuts and water.
With celebration. Oh, but going back to that, so DDB posted that meme that said, or he's talking about how people wouldn't get excited about Celebration if it was a new beer. And I'm like, dude, if fucking Super Mario Brothers 3 got released right now, people wouldn't be excited about it. But guess what? It's nostalgic.
Yeah, for sure. When it came out on Nintendo Switch Online, I was like, fuck yeah, that's cool. I can just load it up on my Switch and I don't have to.
This is
emulate it or do anything
this
with
one
it.
by
makes
far
the
the
Green Cheeck
clearest.
It's so clear.
This is by far the clearest one.
Look at this.
I can
Wow.
see you guys through the beer
Look, I'm inverted in my glass.
because I was inverted.
I'm
Bullshit.
inverted.
Alvarado, baby. Where's Alvarado
Ooh.
Street?
They're in Monterey.
Monterey. Okay.
Up north?
I think they have a Selena spot. They might be in Santa Cruz now.
Wow, way more dense, rocky
Dude.
head on this one.
Beer is
Check it
so
out.
cool, man. God
Beer
damn
smells,
it.
beer smells does it smell different, John?
It does.
It does. It smells.
See, I'm getting a lot of that candy mosaic on this one. Like to me,
Yeah,
I'm
agree.
pulling a ton of mosaic on the nose.
This
Look at
smells
that
Simcoe
head,
heavy to
though.
me.
I'm still admiring the looks.
What up, Tanner?
Kind of madness.
I do have in my glass the head is dissipating a little bit on this one, but it's holding on a little better than the pint house. This looks gorgeous. It's super, super clear.
Comparing it to the North Park, the North Park is more fruity for me on the nose. This gets more grassy for me on the
It's
nose.
like, yep, earthy. I always say
Yeah.
earthy, John.
Well, you know,
Mm.
Like earthy, like, yeah, I don't know.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
orange peel and earth, but not like heavy, not like Idaho 7 earthy like weirdness, but just
They got the hop candy, dude.
It's different. Yeah.
It's a candy of a different style.
So they say dry hop
Horse of a different
delivery
color.
with Simcoe Citra Mosaic. Intentionally crafted with very little malt presence in order to let the hops express themselves. And
That
I
is
think
true.
fundamentally, if we want to talk about what makes a West Coast IPA, it's that. It is the malt
Mm-hmm.
presence getting out of the way. Like the malt is there just as a hop delivery device.
Well,
Right?
in theory, right? But we're saying that the North Park and now the Alvarado Street, well, I didn't say that yet, but the North Park and the Pint House had more of that malt character, not up front, but kind of as a supporting role kind of lending to that hazy IPA feel on the nose.
But
so
no, you would never describe it's there for feel, it's there for texture, but it's not there for flavor.
Not like
and
Celebration.
Yeah, like the malt is a big part of Celebration.
Yeah.
I've been working my way through a 6-pack of the Shark Bite Red, and holy fuck, that is the old school red ales are like really bitter, lots of caramel malt. They fuck your palate.
So
up.
good.
I think caramel malt is like in the beers that were like the throat rape, the really harsh beers. I think the caramel malt,
wow.
the caramel malt was a big part of that. It is not just the hops; it is the hops and a whole bunch of caramel malt is what makes your palate feel like I just got punched in the mouth.
Caramel malt was the throat goat, Jason.
I mean, that was a legit thing with what was the hop that Chinook hops were like. Somebody coined that, was like throat rapey.
I believe it was Matt. It had to be Matt.
No, I think that was even on like not Untapped, but like Beer Advocate. Some review, somebody called it throat rapey. And we like clung on to it because I don't know why. So like, I agree with that. Maybe that was a Matt thing.
Hey, you guys taste it
anyway? Yeah, and holy shit, the hop flavors are.
It's funky, right? Like
no, not funky.
I get that.
It's got some like
I get
big honeydew
kind of
flavors
like
on the flavor on the palate,
like a Venice kind of like a. I'm not going to say green, but like kind of like. And I don't want to say vegetable, but I'm alluding to those words.
Melon.
Like earthy kind of. It has an Idaho 7 vibe on the flavor.
I think that's the Simcoe. It's the Simcoe, isn't it?
No, I don't get that. I mean, I get that like honeydew, big ripe honeydew.
Okay, yeah, fleshy then. Maybe fleshy is what I'm thinking. You know,
yeah,
like
there's definitely like a I don't know,
melons and honeydew. That's all fleshy stuff, and you can
right.
It has a bit of an earth essence to it while still being melonish and fruity. You know,
I'm gonna own up. I couldn't have been more wrong in my prediction. It is like literally the exact opposite of what I expected it to be.
Okay,
like, it is not sweet. It is not candy like. This is like much more like in like a Russian River kind of style. Like it's like a it feels like a beer that's made with sea hops, even though it's not.
You feel like it's a beer that came from a more old school traditional brewery like Russian River did.
Yeah, or like that. Yeah, that kind of approach. It feels more like it drinks.
Maybe
more
it's
like
your glass.
It's because the Russian River glass. It's like imbuing the spirit of fucking Vinny into every good.
I mean, Joe, what do you say, Joe? Like beer tastes better out of proper glass.
Proper glassware. Yeah, I don't have any. We need, we're screwing.
Maybe
he's
just using the wrong glassware. And that's
well, I'm using like the proper sub glass, and it's not helping.
You guys don't have the okay. That's a legit glass, but you don't have the butt plug glass from the Spiegel.
We all had them, and they immediately break, which imploded. I guess is a great business model.
Because when you put it in your butt, it's so thin, and it just breaks immediately. Like,
and then you got to go to the ER. You got to get stitches, and you're like, "Oh, I tripped."
I just was sitting down, and someone left their glass on my seat. I think
that's the name of the episode.
Whoops. Hassle for my asshole.
I'm about to say something. I'm about to say something that nobody's going to agree with. But the more I drink this and it's warmed up, it tastes like OG bubblegum to me. It's weird. It has like that pink bubblegum thing that's just sitting on my tongue, and I don't know where that's coming from. I think
to me, this one is the biggest outlier. Like it doesn't taste like any of the other beers at all.
It smells completely different to me than what it tastes like.
I'm enjoying the hop flavor on it. It's really tasty.
I don't know how. I mean, it's not a bad beer. Like it's not like I'm, obviously it's not.
This is great.
So subjectively, it's more earthy. It's more. Again, I said you said melony, and I agree with it's melon-ish, melon-like, where you get like the flesh of the melon. Maybe you get a little like you're taking someone sliced up like a cantaloupe, and a little bit of the green part got left in there.
Yeah, totally.
And you eat that.
It's rindy.
You get that. I'm not vibing with it. But it's really good. It's just of the 4 so far, it's not my favorite.
To me, this does feel like the outlier of the group, and like Alvarado again, generally a big hitter, and like this one's an A tier. The other ones are S. This one's an A. No shade to Alvarado, but
this is my least favorite of the 4.
It is. It feels a little bit more harsh, where the other ones are more balanced. Like, I mean, okay, so let's turn it around. If we had to, I actually have a 5th, so we could also bring 5th. That up.
Yeah, what is the 5th? What you got?
I got the break.
I had one on tap.
I found the Breakside 4-pack.
So I had Breakside on tap, so I can speak to it.
And Greg, what was the one that I sent you and said, is this close to you?
That was Breakside. That was Breakside. Yeah.
So
I didn't have a chance to get it, but I had it on tap.
For what it's worth, before I drink it, Breakside, I've always felt was on the forefront of what we were talking about with the West Coast IPA style. Like when I was up there in 2017, or 2019, Wanderlust, which is like their default West Coast IPA, was everywhere, and it is very much in this style, this new school style, the very light malt, the super late hop presence, the low bitterness. It is very much that, and Breakside has been doing that really well for years, so they're well suited to this style. I'm expecting a lot from them, so let's see if they live up to it.
Let's see what Jason's got.
I think, from my notes from it,
I just finished the Alvarado.
Oh,
so
like, yeah, fucking unit.
He's like straight the dome.
It's like, let's see what Breakside has.
So the Breakside for me still had a hop candy, but it wasn't like any of the other ones that we've had today. It was more of like I was going to say Haribo, gummy bear.
Wow.
Yeah, gummy bear bag.
Look at
it was a bag of gummy bears on the nose, and it just finished clean, just all these other ones.
Did you guys notice on the label art that North Park did not use their logo on the tombstone when everyone else did? That kind of bummed me out. I was wanting like the little hop guy on the tombstone. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, they just used the bird.
Yeah,
I actually didn't notice that it was different. So
the bird is the word.
Maybe it was an oversight.
I mean, it says North Park. It says North Park at the top of the can.
Anytime you guys get like breweries to do anything, like somebody's going to skip out on something. It's so hard to get. It's like herding kittens to get all these brewers to do probably at least just make the beer and can it is good enough.
All right, Jason.
Okay, so Breakside, a little bit on the cloudier side.
It looks a little darker too.
Maybe that's the lighting. At least on my eyes, it's about.
His ring cam was like,
yeah, blows it out. There you go. That's pretty accurate.
It's definitely not as pale as the Pine House one, right?
No, for sure. The Pine House one, I feel like it definitely had Pilsner malt in it. I think Greg's right.
Of course, Greg's right.
Sorry, I got burps.
I don't know, man. I just throw shit out. But you got the gummy bears on the nose.
I mean, again, this one's big Mosaic. Like for me, like Mosaic is one of my favorite hop flavors, so I'm really good at picking it out. I'm like a truffle pig from Mosaic. You just walk my fat ass around the forest, and I gotta sniff around and find some Mosaic hops.
That's like, Mosaic. We're taking to Yakima. They're like,
so Jason, speaking of truffles, just real quick, when we were in Italy, we learned that in Italy they use dogs to find truffles.
Yep.
And when they're puppies, they put truffles in their mom's milk, so when they drink it, they know what it tastes and smells like. And
that's insane.
It's crazy.
It's pretty rad.
Italy's truffle dogs.
What was it? Abaganza or whatever the shit?
Abaganza.
Hey. Sorry. We're all waiting in suspense for Jason's tasting notes.
Yeah, I would say this is if you would compare it closest to any of the beers we drank, it is the most like the North Park beer. It's got a little bit more bite, probably
like the North Park beer.
Yeah. This is the closest to the North Park beer. It's got a little bit more hop bite. The hops are a little bit dankier. Again, it's like Mosaic is the front flavor on the front of your tongue, and then Simcoe is there to like hang out in the back of your palate and be like, I'm here too, being dank.
I like that. Simcoe in my back. Dank.
Yeah, of this group, I still think the North Park is the GOAT, but like this is the number 2. Like Breakside, people sleep on them, dude.
You like North Park better than Green Cheeks?
I do. Yeah.
Wow,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Evan.
No,
I
I'm just
think I agree. Yeah. And it's not like it's a contest.
definitely not
it's
getting
just,
definitely not getting the retweet playa.
oh, that's a
like,
joke, but
we're comparing all the best breweries in the world. Someone's got to be
Evan
better than the
literally
other.
hit me up and said, "Hey, I wish you would have had all of them. Next time, let me know, and I'll get you all of them." Yeah, Evan does
Yeah.
not care.
I would have loved
The
Cellar
Green
Maker.
Cheek variant is fantastic. These are all great beers. Like,
Who
Hold on,
didn't read
Green
that?
Cheek is not a variant. This is Green Cheek's
well,
beer.
technically it is because they shared the recipe with everyone else,
I'm
right?
saying though, this is their beer.
Well, they're
right?
the original. The others, are
The OG.
variants.
But I mean,
who else did we miss? Like, let's talk about the guys we didn't drink today, and like what
was there
we
everywhere or Highland Park?
No.
I
No.
wanted everywhere to be one of them so bad.
It was
Cloudburst.
Alvarado, Amalgam, Breakside, Cellar Maker, Cloudburst, Cloudwater, North Park, and Pine House. So we missed out on Cloudburst, Cellar Maker, and
Amalgam.
Cellar Maker stopped shipping
Amalgam.
beer, which sucks.
Yeah. And the only one that Evan said he didn't have, I think, was Cellar Maker?
Cloudburst.
Cloud
They're
Water.
in,
Okay.
I think they're in England.
Yeah, they're
Cloudwater.
across the pond. Yeah.
Or
Right.
Cloudwater or Cloudburst?
Cloudburst,
is
they're
Seattle.
No,
Cloudwater,
they're not.
I think.
Are you sure?
Cloudburst is Seattle, I think. Cloudwater is England. Cloud.
Joe is right.
Cloudwater
It's
that I wish
Cloudburst
you
from
saw.
Seattle.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been to Cloudburst. That place is fucking awesome.
I've actually
Okay.
been there too.
They blasted 90s hip hop the whole time I was there. It was
Seattle's a
fantastic.
great beer city. The whole Pacific Northwest, go there. It fucking
Yeah,
rules.
I like the
But dude, honestly, again, all of these are bangers. I do feel like Alvarado is capable of better beer than the one we had here. Like, especially being compared to all these goats. Like, I've had better beer from Alvarado Street. Like, it's not my favorite of theirs.
There's actually nothing wrong with you saying that North Park was your favorite, because I think when we did the Timbo stuff, everywhere was my favorite Timbo out of all of them. So it wasn't even Highland Park. So it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to like the brewery that the beer originated from. Like, it's
Well, it's not like you don't like it. I like all of these. It's just whatever your preference is.
If I got a 4-pack of any of these, I'm just like,
Yeah,
fuck
you're
yeah,
stoked.
this
Crush
fucking
it.
rules.
They should do another one with like just the worst breweries doing West Coast IPA.
Like,
And you're like,
Kings,
so
fuck, we're gonna
who's the best?
How do you
Who's the
figure that out?
best
You're like, who's
of
the
the
shittiest?
worst?
Who's the shittiest
Who's the
brewery?
shittiest fucking brewery? I'm like, oh my god, like
just
Donkey
come to
Punch
the
Brewery
Inland,
is like,
just come to the Inland Empire. Fucking
why don't they share the recipe with Kings? You know, just fuck it. Let's go for it.
dude, I said that too, and
Always.
independently, me and John talk shit on them. That's great.
Fuck them.
Oh,
Did
what is
they
happening?
shut down?
I don't know.
No,
He
they're
started selling
moving it or
shoes
something.
and stuff. Like,
There's
They
like
closed
shoes.
their brewery.
they're
Yeah,
dry
they-
hopping with shoes.
no, the guy. It's I think at first it was out of the brewery. Like, they had a stockpile of like rare shoes, and you could cop some fucking
Okay.
sweet kicks from Kings.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Some Kings ones.
Yeah.
You know who?
Royalty.
You know who doesn't get included in these like homie collabs, and I wish they did. And it's El Segundo.
Yeah, they're
El
kind of on
Segundo
the
is-
outside
they're-
looking in, right?
Like, also, I think it's a generational thing. Like, we've met those guys. Like, I think they're from a prior generation than like all of these breweries that we're talking about. I would love to see El Segundo participate in something like this. Like, imagine if El Segundo brewed Timbo or El Segundo brewed fucking this.
That's
Like,
a really good point.
I would love to try that. If anyone listening knows the El Segundo guys, or Stone Cold, like,
I mean, we know the El Segundo guy.
yeah,
Stone Cold.
kind of. Like, we interviewed him 10 years ago, but I don't know if they
How
have
about I
numbers.
just send Evan a text and say, "Hey, what about El Segundo? What happened to El Segundo?"
We should ask him next time we see him. Like, where's the Gundo and all this? Maybe
Yeah,
they're just
they're-
like, nah, we're
Like,
all
they
booked
literally
up
they have
making
fucking Steve Austin with them, so it's like
Yeah, they're probably like,
No,
our
no.
tanks are booked up on Stone Cold
Sure.
beer
For
the
all
next
we know,
6
maybe
months.
they did hit up El Segundo, and El Segundo's like, "Thanks, no thanks." No
they're like
hate."
West Coast IPA, a stunnered playa.
No, they're just literally like, we've got orders for the next 9 months for fucking Broken Skulls, so like we can't make anything else.
Right. Yeah. I
You're
want
right,
to
though.
say
El
before we
El
end
Segundo
this,
makes bangers of
before we
West Coast
end
IPA.
this, do you guys get, going back to the Pint House beer, do you get any kind of a spicy thing on the nose? Because
Hold
I'm
on,
getting
John.
a weird, like,
Let me pour it
kind of-
again.
Peppery.
The Pine House beer was the most kind of funky, and I felt like it departed from the formula the most. To me, it feels like the outlier of this group.
I think so too.
You posted a picture of your IPA haul the other day. Did you drink your blind pig already?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I want you to open your blind pig and drink it next to these to see what
I have a Happy Hops.
I have a Pliny the Elder.
Well, that's a double though. I just wanted to see like what the difference between those ones are with the new school IPAs.
It's in the same zone actually, and I think Russian River has tweaked.
Again, I have a Happy Hops, and I think that's a single. I could try that if.
Oh, and that's Russian River's approach to new school. Let's do it, dude.
Give it a shot, John.
Well, hang on.
I'm talking too much,
bro.
Hang on.
Wait, you got nothing to do tomorrow? Oh wait, it's Monday.
Yeah. So yeah, the Pine House for me does have a little spiciness.
Yeah, it does. I'm smelling it, and it's a little spicy, a little again, a little funky. It really feels like, I don't know if it's that they got different hops or if they just tried to do a different thing. But the thing is, like, if I'm brewing this beer, do you expect people to do what we're doing?
Yeah.
Joe, what did you have to do to get these beers?
Well, let's see here. Alvarado shipped, and I was able to go to Green Cheeck, and I got North Park. The Pine House one, my buddy Sam hooked it up. He lives out in Texas, and it's crazy because this beer released the day that Joe Rogan had what's his name on his podcast, and he was like, "Fucking Austin shut down. You can't get in." He was stuck at the brewery.
Oh shit! Yeah, that would suck.
You can't leave. And I was like, "Holy shit, sorry, dude." And he was like, "No, it's not." Nobody knew that was going to happen. But yeah, so Sam hooked that up, and then the other ones, they were local enough, so it's easy to get.
And then Breakside just hit distro here, so
yeah, which is crazy.
we
I
just
saw
found
that.
out too late.
Yeah.
I guess the main dude from Breakside was out here eating lunch at Windsor Browns and dropping off a keg and stuff.
Shout out. All right, so this Happy Hops was bottled on October 21st.
Day before my birthday.
Where'd you get that from?
You have Barron's by my house. It's 5 minutes from my house, and I went there today. That's where I bought this, and they had 25 on the shelf.
Dude, I think Russian River has reached the perfect point of availability, which is like, it's like 80% of the time it's in stock. And like, it's not always there, but it moves. It's always fresh.
Yeah, I think they've reached peak supply and demand where they can still get their peak pricing, $7 for a bottle of beer, and have it plentiful enough for people to pay $7 for a bottle of beer.
It's not really that high a price anymore.
I don't think it is. You go to a brewery, dude, it's $8 for a pour.
Did I say it's not? I'm just saying.
What's a single can for
I'm just saying it could be cheaper, but they're maximizing profit to availability. That's all I'm saying.
But dude, back in like 2012 or 13, it was $5 a bottle from the brewery. So you figure $7 distro, like that's not that bad. In 2024.
I'm just saying. I said what I said.
I'm just saying too.
My light just died. That's sad. All right, so we've got the Happy Hops on camera.
Ooh,
very clear. Yeah. Again, I'm inverted. And what should I compare this to? Let's see.
North
Park, baby.
North Park. Sorry, not North Coast.
Okay, this is smelling kind of
old Rasputin.
Old Rasputin.
Root old Rasputin. Joe, did you ever hear the story where I actually met a North Coast rep and I said, we've been talking about you guys really need to put blueberry and strawberry syrup and make a rootin' tootin' old Rasputin. And then he looked at me like, oh yeah, cool.
No idea.
He was just like, idea. That is not amusing to me in the least fucking bit. I thought he would think it was funny as hell. And it's like, nah, he was just like, yeah, fucking cool. You're being fucking weird.
Rooty tooty, fresh and fruity.
Rootin' tootin' old Rasputin would be the best fucking beer ever made, dude. The strawberry blueberry syrup old Rasputin, rootin' tootin' old Rasputin.
John, what do you think, playa?
Well, compared to the Alvarado,
is West Coast IPA dead, John?
Okay. Of all the beers, this one is definitely more subtle on the nose than everything else. Even Green Cheeks. The Happy Hops is more subtle on the nose than everything. Yeah.
Wow.
This is tough.
I mean, you don't have to pick a winner per
No,
se,
just
but you at least compare.
We have unlimited time on the internet. It's up to
that
me
is
to
true.
edit.
That lady made that 4-hour Star Wars video about a hotel, and people share it like, "Whoa!" They're like, "It's worth it."
Are we done recording, by the way?
No, we're not.
Great.
I think the Happy Hops is closest to.
What's happening?
I think the Happy Hops is closest to the North Park. For me, the Pint House is just the longer it sits out, I'm just getting this massive like spicy weirdness on the nose.
It's Simcoe. Nobody believes me.
I'm out of the Green Cheeck. I can smell it from the can.
I feel like they're getting the hops from a different place or something. Like it's very.
That makes sense.
The Pint House hops are very, very different than everybody else's hops.
Their hops are chopped and screwed, Jason.
They're Austin. They're Austin, not Houston.
They're still tipping on fofos.
Somebody in the chat said DDH brisket. I was dying.
Man, that's interesting. I think the Happy Hops and the North Park, even after drinking them, are very, very similar.
Let's fucking do it, Jason.
Hold on, Jason. Don't steal my thunder here. I opened a fucking bottle that.
Thunder. Yeah, they thunder.
I mean,
this is John in real time.
The West Coast IPA is dead from North Park and North Coast from North Park, and Happy Hops from Russian River. They're very similar, very, very similar. That's kind of trippy.
Cool.
So Russian River's take on New School is close to what the San Diego dudes are doing.
And Happy Hops
nails it.
I mean, Happy Hops is one of the
best great beer
to come out of.
You know what's crazy too is I feel like people they ignore that beer for whatever reason because it's not Pliny or Blind Pig. That beer is fucking awesome.
No, that's
first time.
This
we had
is
it,
my
we're
go-to
like,
above Blind Pig and Pliny. It's amazing.
We rave about Happy Hops on this show a lot. I think just before you came on, we were just like Russian River showing they're still the best. They came out with Happy Hops like it was like an artist coming out being like, "Nah, I still got it." Like it's like Kendrick coming out and just being like, "Nah, fuck off, Drake." Like here we go. Like that was Russian River being like, "Oh yeah, IPA's
it's a mic drop."
Like Happy Hops, like
Vinny's like, no. I can put on a vest coat and produce really good. West
I'll
Coast
say if
IPA.
anything, the Happy Hops is less fruity on the flavor and more, overall kind of balanced and.
Would you
really
say it's sad
good.
hops?
No, it's Happy Hops. But
you say it's emo hops.
Oh no, my hops.
It's good. That's what I'm saying.
Hops.
Happy Hops can hang with all four of these beers, except for Pine House. I don't know what the fuck's happening with Pine House. I'm not hating on Pine House, but it's just this beer has warmed up and become.
I'm not hating on Pine House.
Do not want to drink.
Pine House got clown hops, yo.
What happened? I don't know. All right, Jason. Jason opened a celebration ale. Apparently,
I'm about to open one with him, playa.
Fuck it. It could be so nice to celebrate.
I mean, we don't have to go to work tomorrow, right?
I have to.
Fuck. Yeah. I got sick days.
Look at that red ale right there.
Look at that shit.
So, Jason, is this
positively irresponsible amounts of caramel malt? Humans were not meant to consume this much caramel malt.
Is this the 2024 celebration?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not an old one. It's just fucking one I got from Sprouts and put in my fridge.
I threw all of my old celebration away when I moved.
Why? So. What's wrong with you?
Joe, you had to be there.
I would have drank all of it.
It was it was sad.
Yeah, it's so weird drinking celebration after drinking all of these modern West Coast IPAs.
It's fucking awesome, isn't it?
No, it's so like that sweet and really the like tannic astringency thing.
Jason, I'm not going to stand for celebration slander right now.
It's big on caramel malt. Like, no, I don't dislike the beer, but it's
Jason,
a
close
challenging.
Your eyes. It's 1983. Prince is just Purple Rain is getting ready to drop. Like
it's 1983. I'm 2 years old. I am a wee little baby. I've only ever drank milk from a teat, and now I try for the first time celebration.
Your father's like, suckle on the celebration.
have some of myself.
Why don't you have something that'll turn you into a man, son?
In the
And I'm
future,
like,
you'll be a beer podcaster.
You're gonna drink beer on the internet.
IBU! Like it doesn't work.
All
It's-
right.
Yep.
It is
The
Hey,
Dallas
it's such a
Cowboys are Super Bowl
contrast.
champs, and celebration is
No,
going down your
83,
throat.
83 was the Raiders, wasn't it?
81, dog.
I'm talking 90.
Dude,
90.
83. Joe, it's so funny you said that. I was buying beer at Barron's today, and dude was wearing a jacket from, I don't know where, but it was like one of those old ones with like the faux leather sleeves and
Like a
he had
fucking
long
Letterman
white
jacket.
hair, and it was like Raiders, and on the sleeve it said Super Bowl 11. And it was a Raiders,
Which is
helmet,
probably 83, right?
and it was
Bless up.
80. Oh God, what was it?
I think it's
83.
Yeah.
79 or
Davis,
something,
maybe.
or no, 83, 81, and something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah,
scabby
apparently
old
in
Al
81,
Davis.
the Raiders beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
Marcus Allen, was he a Super Bowl MVP? I think.
In my head,
Wow.
I was like, I should compliment this guy in his jacket, but then I'm like, I don't want to engage.
Could
with
you
this guy.
imagine being a Raider fan, dude? Like it's been since
Nah, dude.
'83
You
since they
engage a
won.
Raider
Dude,
fan
that's a hard
even
fan.
positively, like they'll shank you, dude. You don't.
This guy looked
Dude,
like
I
a
love
hippie.
Raider fans.
Yeah, he looked like a hippie that was like, I like the Raiders when they were cool, and now they're just.
I mean,
You know
dude,
what's
the
weird?
Raiders are still cool. Like the Raiders
You know
will
what's
always be
also-
cool.
What do you
John, did
mean?
you experience in Vegas? Like Vegas have really embraced having a team, and they're like, yeah, fucking Raiders, like go Raiders, go Golden Knights. Like they're hyped about it. And
No,
I'm
Vegas
like,
was all Trump. That's all I got from Vegas.
John,
Oh,
seriously,
I found a
seriously.
lot of Raider shit. I go to like a gas station, they'd be like, "We're a Raider fucking gas station," and I'm like, "Man, they
Dude.
really embraced having the Raiders. I guess so did we."
I mean,
saying,
I'm not.
as
That's
soon as
fine.
As soon as Ice Cube wore a Raiders hat and Boys in the Hood, like that, they were like that was
Yeah.
it. The
Dude,
Raiders
the
are still
Ontario-
iconic.
The Ontario Mills, my local mall, had a Raiders store. The last time
Oh,
I
they
was there.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For years. Raider Image. It was just a store of Raider shit.
I mean, dude,
That's
I grew up in Northern California. Like people wore Raider shit everywhere. Like are you a
Once
Raider
a
fan?
week-
They're like, no,
Yeah,
I just
Northern
like the logo.
California, yeah.
once
Oakland.
a week, I encounter
But
a
I was in
silver.
Sacramento. Like not
It
even
is
close
a
to Oakland.
Close
Here-
enough.
Here's the Raider vehicle. It is a silver, either Astro van or Silverado. And then it has a giant Raider sticker on it. And then it has like a giant thing that says, like, fuck all Raider haters. And the windows are blacked out. Like, that is the official vehicle of
It definitely
Raider
says
fans.
fuck. It definitely says fuck the haters for sure.
I've
It says,
brought
"Fuck
this up
all
on the
Raider
show
haters," in
before.
a silver Astro van with tinted windows. Like, if you live in LA, you've seen that vehicle 100 times.
All right, I want to continue this, but let me do an outro here. So overall, these beers from, I guess deriving from Green Cheeck, it's a very interesting, like, again, take on how different breweries approach these beers, even though they have like a kind of a skeleton structure of a recipe for the beer, and how wildly different they can be, whether it comes down to what they do for the hops or they do for the malts, their water and everything else. So,
What we can all agree on, John, is that West Coast IPA is dead.
I guess so.
It's gone.
Rip.
Well, if it's going to be dead, then this is a good fucking send-off because these are some of the best West Coast IPAs we've ever
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good fucking riddance, West Coast IPA.
Later.
All right, that's a good spot to stop. You guys can stop recording. Going back to the Raider
Shit.
thing. So again, if you go up McCall off the 215, there's a house. There's a bunch. It's like that's the it's Sun City, and I live in Menifee, and so Sun City is technically part of Menifee, and there's a house that they painted everything silver and black. Like the trim of the house is black.
That's dope.
Their roof, I think, is
They're
silver.
fucking dogs. I
Their
love it.
driveway is silver or black or something. Everything is rated out, and their main thing is just win, baby.
Of course.
And I've had this route for 4 years now. And when I first drove by that house, it looked amazing. But over the years, paint's starting to chip off. The driveway is starting to look a little run down.
Bo Jackson blew out his knee.
It's an eyesore and it's awful.
Al
I'm
Davis'
just
scab started falling off.
It's one of those things where it's like, this is why HOAs exist, and
Yes.
god damn, it's so bad.
What is
And
that? What is that sandwich place that's all like Al Davis themed? What fuck? There's a sandwich shop. that I went
Scabbies?
to. No, god damn it.
It's Al Davis themed.
Or at least they have an Al Davis sandwich. It's Ike's. Ike's
I gotta pee.
sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm saying Ike's has a bunch of they
got an Al
celebrity-
Davis sandwich. It's a bacon, roast beef, horseradish, sriracha, Ike sauce.
Scabs.
Gosh,
Sounds
I
pretty
love
good, honestly.
Horseradish is so legit.
It fucking owns, right?
I fucking love horseradish.
Are you guys laggy? Because like,
Nah, dude, you've been fine the whole
no.
time.
You guys,
so whatever's like, I have 800 up and down, but like this whole session's been like, all you guys are like talking like robots,
That's weird,
Really?
dude. Yeah, I
That's
haven't
bad.
seen shit.
and
Your
like
Wi-Fi
Jason
sucks,
especially,
maybe.
very laggy.
I think your Wi-Fi sucks.
I'm plugged
I'm on
directly
Wi-Fi,
into
dude.
my.
I'm 800 up and down, bro.
Are you plugged into your fucking router?
Yeah, bro. I'm straight in.
You hardwired?
Yeah, bruh.
Hardwired in.
What's up,
Wow.
bruh?
Have you considered getting good?
My whole thing just saved and uploaded within like 1 minute, Greg. So I think I'm
Yeah,
alright.
yeah. I'm up. Yeah, yeah. Everything like uploaded fast. It was just StreamYard is bad.
Dude, I'm so mad that Google Drive, when I upload to the 4 Brewers drive, also takes space out of my personal drive. I'm like, you motherfuckers, I pay you for that space.
Right.
I didn't realize
back.
I was getting notifications from Gmail that I was like getting low on storage. I'm like, what? And I looked, and it was all my old
It's
stuff.
from
that I
4
would send
Brewers
to junk.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to delete it.
Yep, I didn't realize
It's
that.
fucking bullshit. Fucking Google.
Fucking bitch ass.
It's
Google.
weird drinking Celebration after drinking
hold
these
on.
beers. It feels
I'm
like I
gonna go
went
get-
back in time.
I'm gonna go get a celebration. Hold on,
What?
and hold that thought about Huey Lewis because I'm gonna tell you something.
Gonna go back in time.
Don't need money. You don't need fame.
Don't need credit card to ride this train.
Strong and it's sudden,
Cool sometimes.
but it might just change your life.
Save your life.
Well, save your life. That's it. Yeah. That's the power of love.
Power of love.
Ding ding dum bing ding ding dum bang bang.
It's
That's the
power of love.
ding, ding, bum,
Can you
bang,
feel
bum,
it? There's
bang,
4 people
bang.
here like who just want to hear us a cappella sing 80s jams.
Dude, for like the first 10
upload
minutes,
thing
there
I
was
did?
like one person. And then they got back to like 7, 10. So
Speaking
It's a
of Huey
weird time
Lewis,
for
I
us.
listened to sports.
yeah, it is.
Jason, I listened to sports the other day at my desk. That album still fucking holds up.
Is it good?
Oh, it's great.
Hey,
So,
I don't know where my
spoiler alert.
4B recordings folder is. Where the fuck?
So
This
Joe's
video's
got a
gonna be-
pale ale and a celebration.
Oh, I did a video last week on my YouTube channel about Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and I was like, this tastes like a baby celebration to me. And someone had said, straight from the horse's mouth at Sierra Nevada, celebration is basically double pale ale. So I drank them side by side, and it was really
Oh, was that a tall boy of pale ale, Joe?
that I did the video on. It was.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
I
drink.
didn't watch that video. Sorry, man.
Thanks for the support.
Shut the fuck up.
What?
I'm trying to get you back into like doing beer reviews, and you're like, I don't even watch
I
your
know.
shit.
It's
know.
I don't like watching either us or like us. Like I don't like watching our show or
Adjacent.
other shows. Like
That,
I'm
that'd
like,
be a
that's a
good.
guy I know.
Jason, you need to have a channel called Adjacent.
There you
Jason,
go.
put your
Okay,
celebration
Jason.
up to the
Jason,
camera.
I see where you're coming from with not wanting to watch shows related to us, but Joe has been doing this before he even knew us. So,
Yeah, but he's a guy I know. It's weird watching a channel of like a dude I know.
But
I
it's
watch
fun to
Joe shit.
participate in the comment section on his videos
And
because he's so
here's the thing,
active, and it's fun
watch
to just
Joe
like,
shit, and I'm
on
like,
people.
I agree with these. I agree with that. Yep, I see what you're saying. Like, I'm
I
like,
see that.
He's a good dude.
I see it.
So give it a thumbs up. That's all you have to do. Give it
That's
a
all
thumbs
I
up.
do.
Okay, like, subscribe.
I
and
have
comment.
both liked and subscribed. I smashed that bell.
You smash it.
Jason, can you hold your celebration up to your camera? Because this is regular Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah, it's a red versus
Okay.
an IPA. Yeah.
I can see how it's a double or a double pale ale.
Don't need money.
I don't
Don't
disagree with you guys.
care.
No, we
Don't
were talking
take
when
a
you were
credit card
gone,
to
Greg,
ride
that
that
someone
train.
had said.
Oh, I heard. I was peeing,
Oh.
and I could hear.
Oh, that's right.
Greg's on the BT.
I forgot about that.
I can hear you guys talking when I'm peeing.
Always. Like
Next time
whenever
you do that, let me know.
Whenever
Next time you do that,
Craig
let me
is
know. 'Cause I'll be like,
pissy,
hey,
he
keep
hears
it
the
going,
four
buddy.
brewers
Nice
being
stream.
like, I'm getting a lot of dank aromas.
I'm at work going like, why is this diode acting up? What is going on here? And Greg's just like, I heard that. Yeah.
a bit of
diode.
a
What you have to do is calibrate all of your diodes with the proper multimeters, so you know that your diodes are
Fucking multimeters,
appropriately.
look at
You know, Greg, that's not too far off. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
you. I need to
multimeters.
pull
Dude.
my multimeter out.
What
And fucking.
what even is your life without multimeters? Like,
I need to
you know,
take my
you
Oh,
can
multimeter
what is my
guess.
career without a multimeter?
You can guess, but
I'm pretty sure I
that's
got bad
It's gonna cost
voltages.
you $6
you can
grand.
test it.
in my
and then you can see it.
industry, we just assume the electricity works. Like, I don't do electricity. I come in after the guys that make the electricity work have done their job.
So that electricians then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to take out my
All right.
multimeter because I'm pretty sure my 5-volt on my tapper board is not well right now.
You got to test it. Yeah, dude. Multimeters, everything.
All right. So
Test
where were
those
we?
ohms.
We're
You
doing
gotta
a
get those
celebration,
ohms.
right? This is post.
Do you have a celebration,
Yeah,
John?
I don't know why I'm drinking celebration.
I do not know.
What are the
Because you're
ohms
a
of a
fucking
celly?
dog.
Okay.
What's the ohms of a celly?
I would say it's higher resistance than a pale ale because it's got more malts in it.
Here,
That
hold
makes
on.
sense, right?
I agree.
I don't know.
Jason, by the way, in my celebration in Sierra Nevada video, I cuvee them, and it's fucking awesome when you drink them together.
I bet combined they'd be great. It'd mellow out the fucking harshness of that caramel malt.
The harshness of the caramel malt.
It's harsh on the
Celebration-
palate, dude. It's harsh on the palate.
Celebration's a hug. It's a
a
hug
yeah.
of a beer.
It's a celebration. It's a
It's
come
a
on
hug
in.
of a
It's-
beer.
It's
no
It's a come on
harsh.
in. Can I get you
It's
a
in-
drink?
It's in that narrow section of
It's like Ken
IPA that
Grossman's
I
like,
just don't
"Ugh."
vibe with that much. It's like fresh
It's like you're-
squeezed. Like,
like
you
in
know,
a pillow-
I'm a on record
Jason.
fresh squeezed hater.
Why?
It's like if you filled a
I try
bed
it every
full
couple of
hops.
years and I still don't like it.
You're wrong,
Dude.
dude.
Dude,
Well,
I just so tomorrow's
I can't
video
change who I am, dude.
is fresh squeeze. That beer is still low key a banger.
Dude, I went to Bend and I had fresh squeeze there and I was like, it
Bend.
still sucks. And then I left. And then I went to fucking Boneyard.
Man.
And then I went to Rogue and drank Dead Guy Ale all
This
day.
is where Joe.
Oh,
No,
God.
I went
the
to
Four Brewers
Boneyard. I went to
podcast.
Crux and I saw the fucking sunset over the fucking Three Sisters. Go to Bend, you guys. Bend is a fucking
Bend is
beer
dope,
city.
I don't know, man.
Jason hates
Celebration for me,
celebration.
like I associate that with like we open presents on Christmas Eve, and like everything's been cleaned up, and you know, but there's still like piles of presents and stuff, and the lights are dim, and you're watching
The celebration
something,
ale.
maybe Christmas Vacation still, because that's
The
Yvonne's
best.
favorite movie to watch. Like she
It's
watches
my
it
favorite
all
too.
You guys,
every
everybody,
day. Hold
what's
on,
your
Jason,
Christmas
let me
movie?
finish. And like you're just chilling, drinking celebration, having a good time.
Fuck yeah, you
You're
are.
vibing. It's so nice. You're not
You're having
analyzing
Christmas
the
Eve
beer.
sex.
What?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, when Santa shows up and you get gaped.
my yeah.
You're boning
My
down
house
next to
where-
the fireplace.
I don't know
Someone's
about
got to
that,
pay
but-
for these presents. Ho ho
Someone's
ho.
getting gaped tonight.
Rudolph.
No, you
Rudolph
guys,
getting gaped.
John, I was trying to yes and you. What's everyone's Christmas movie? Like, what is your like? I watch this on Christmas and feel like it's Christmas.
Christmas Vacation, absolutely, like multiple times. It's so
Same.
good. It's so fun.
Same plus elf.
I feel like I want to watch it right now, but it's not time because I have to go to work tomorrow.
I've already watched it once.
So.
I'm so far like
Greg already
I'm,
watched
I'm,
it.
I'm so far off of what you guys are saying. Jason, what's yours?
Scrooge, Bill Murray Scrooged.
That's good.
Ooh,
Elf
And
is
then
good.
also Will Vinton's Claymation Christmas, which nobody remembers, but it's the guy that did the California Raisins, and there's a
The Grinch,
30-minute Christmas special. It's just a claymation Christmas special, and I watched it all the time on VHS when I was a kid. I found a bootleg DVD of it on the internet, and I watch it every Christmas.
Nice.
So that's not something you can find on like Tubi or something.
No, it is nowhere, but but I did bootleg it, but Scrooge, that's my movie. I love that one, which is weird because I'm not the biggest Bill Murray fan, but it's a good movie.
It's cool.
it is.
He's good, but like I'm not like a huge Bill Murray fan. But Scrooge is
Who
great.
is?
No, when we're setting up like the Christmas tree and I don't know, decorations and stuff, that movie's like Christmas Vacation. That's what's on in the background, and it's like me and Yvonne both like quote things during the
best
movie
movie.
and say
That's a great
things
movie.
and like, it's so good. It's like peak Chevy Chase, and he's an asshole. So
Before he's
he is kind of the worst. Yeah. I think he was always an asshole. It just the vacation movies worked despite that.
Yeah, you talk to people who knew him at SNL, and like, yeah,
I mean, he did
an
those
asshole.
3 vacation movies. So the European, the Christmas, and the original, and then Fletch, and then after that he sort of fell off.
Gosh,
Fletch too sucked.
Literally, the documentary that, or it was either a documentary, I think it's a book about SNL in the 70s. I think it was titled "Everybody Hates Chevy." Like, he was just the biggest fucking asshole. Like, everybody there hated him. Have you guys seen that movie that's coming out about SNL?
No,
it's like 90 minutes.
I'm a big
to air
SNL
or something.
fan.
It's Jason Reitman is doing a movie about like the first episode.
Oh, it's called
SNL.
Saturday Night, right?
Maybe.
I
Greg, did you say you're not the biggest SNL fan, or you are an SNL fan?
I watch it every week.
I'm saying Saturday Night, dude, Saturday Night Live in the 90s for me were the fucking best.
Greg, you watch it every night or every Saturday?
Every weekend, yeah.
So do I. So do I. And
over the last 30
she
years,
fucking
right?
hates it, and I'm just like, I get it why you don't like it, because
I mean,
it ebbs and flows with how funny it actually is.
You skip the bad shit, you know.
Yeah.
I skip it, but I'll watch
It's
Weekend
so good
Update.
still. I don't. Thank you, Greg. Oh, I feel.
Dude, my favorite part of Weekend Update is when Michael Chi and Colin Jost, when they write jokes for each other and don't tell them and they have to read them. It's the fucking best.
It feels like
dude,
they're
it's
doing
the best thing ever.
It feels like they're doing impractical jokers on each other. Like, all right, read this, dipshit.
Dude, it's the best. So, Greg, who's your favorite Weekend Update guy? I want to see if you agree or have the same as mine.
Oh, dude, Seth Meyers, dude.
Seth was your favorite?
Seth Meyers. Yeah.
Dude,
I still watch
Norm
the show.
McDonald was my favorite.
Yeah, Norm.
I'm a Norm guy. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Seth Meyers has his own show. And
Greg, I'll say this for Seth
fucking
Meyers.
Still slays.
His not weekend update. His what
Closer
do they call it? Yeah, Closer Look. I watch it every time.
Have you seen his bits where he gets drunk with people?
Oh, dude, it's the best thing ever.
Those are funny.
It's Day Drinking with Seth, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Day Drinking with Seth.
Those are good.
And they just get fucking shit faced.
They get legitimately ripped. Him and I think the last one I saw was him and Kristen Stewart, and they just got fucking shredded.
Really?
Yeah.
I assumed it was like a gimmick. You know?
No, God.
Like they basically rent out a bar in the day and they just sit there and drink in it all day.
I counted like 30 shots or something.
It's a lot. Like they get legitimately drunk history drunk.
Do you know that Do you know that drunk history they don't actually drink?
No, they do.
That's not true, dude. I just watched a big interview with the guy. He was talking about how much of a pain in the ass it is.
All right.
They want to make sure everything people say when they're drunk is accurate. That's what they're saying.
He was talking about how it's a big thing where they have to get people to like a specific place of being shit-faced.
Yeah.
But also like not trying to show off. Like it's a
I read an article that
weirdly there's a big hour-long interview. No, like, dude, no, I'm pretty sure I mean, I'm not a alcohol expert, but I do an alcohol show as a
technically,
hobby.
Jason, you are an alcohol.
Yeah, I'm a local alcohol.
I read an article
10 years now on the internet.
I just read an article like last week that said that like the people that they hire are really good drunk actors.
No,
they don't actually.
No, I mean, unless that's a recent thing, who knows? One of my arcade buddies was on that show, and he
just
was fucking wasted.
The main guy did like an hour-long interview on the Funny or Die channel talking about it. Weirdly, I've been getting clips of it on my fucking algorithm.
Nice.
What was that drinking show with
drunk algorithm?
Who do you know that was on that show, Joe?
His name's Craig. He did like commercial work and stuff, but I don't remember which episode he was on, but this was like back in 2015, I think. 2000. It was when we were doing our arcade podcast, and he called me. He's like, "Dude, I just recorded the show." He was fucking wasted. He said it was a long time ago. But what was the drinking show with Zane Was it Zane Lamprey?
Dude, Three Sheets was his original
Is that what
show.
I mean, that show was. I remember loving that show.
I was a big Zane Lamprey fan. In fact, I went to like a Zane Lamprey St. Patrick's Day event in San Diego in like probably 2010, maybe 2009, 2010. I remember it was pouring ass rain. I was in there doing like a St. Patrick's Day shit show. And then it was like, we're going to take transit back to our hotel. We were staying like up north and it didn't work out. We had to like take the bus or some shit. It was a fucking bit of a fiasco. We tried to call a cab. It was pre-Uber. So that's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he cool in real life? Like, did you meet him?
I mean, the show was fun. I didn't hang out with him, but it was a fun show. Yeah.
I just remember watching that show going like, I wish I was doing this show.
He was the reason why I went to the Pacific Beach Shore Club, because he did in the
Shore Club.
So they did 3 sheets, and then he did a show on HDNet. You guys remember that channel?
No.
I remember that channel. I don't remember
that channel called HDNet. It was like hey, we have stuff in high def. And they did a lot of live sports, like they did MMA and stuff. And then they had a show. It was the same thing as 3 sheets, but it was just a different concept, and it had less like weird gimmicky noises and shit. And he would go to a town and like feature a couple bars and shit. And yeah, they featured the Pacific Beach Shore Club, and it was like, this place sounds really cool. And I went there. To be fair, Sunday at noon at the Pacific Beach Shore Club was really fun. I was overlooking the beach. Yeah. I was drinking big schooners of fucking Modelo or some shit.
Schooners.
And it was really pretty. And like 10 different people came in, and they're like, I left my card here last night. So I was like, Saturday night's probably a shit show, but Sunday at noon, it's a real chill place to be and look at the beach.
Saying Schooners, there was a place in Colton called Schooners. Washington and the 215, and they had bands there, and there was some of the best Inland Empire bands that I've ever seen there. And but yeah, you get a schooner of fucking Bud Light for $2, and it's which was essentially what, schooner, 16 ounces of beer, but still it's $2. Like,
no, those are like 25 ounces, I think.
Are they 25? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
25 to 30. They're pretty big.
Yeah, it was great.
And they weigh like 10 pounds for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, they were big, heavy, thick glass.
God damn schooner.
It was like a dimpled mug, but in the shape of a tulip or something.
Dude, I went back and had
a stemmed glass.
The Green Cheeck beer. It's so good.
That's what I'm drinking now. Yeah.
Jason, go back and have celebration.
I drank it all. I got to go back in time now.
I really think the Pint House has something funky going on with the nose. That is just a complete turn off.
Again, they're the one that's a tear down. Like, they're just not quite.
The North Park for me.
But, I mean, here's the thing. Pint House is a brew pub, though. It's not like a actual brewery. Like,
that doesn't matter.
No, I mean, like, I went there. It feels much more like being in a big industrial park brewery. Like, the one I went to was like,
you can go to the brewery and you're in a big industrial park brewery.
I'm trying to think. It was like, it felt more like
a mall parking lot.
There's a bunch of them, so I don't know. The one I went to in Austin, it felt like going to like,
it's like a mall parking lot.
No, the one I went to was its own standalone thing, and it was in kind of an industrial area. Yeah, there's like 6.
Oh, okay.
It's like Pizza Port. They have a whole bunch.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it felt more
I went to the one in a mall parking lot.
You guys remember you guys remember when we went to Dust Bowl?
Yeah.
The Pint House I went to felt like Dust Bowl, like that.
Dust Bowl up in
that was like state of the art.
You guys went up there?
Multiple times.
When we were driving,
that place rules.
For a few years in a row, we went to the California Craft Beer Summit.
And we would hit them up before we like went there and be like, "Hey, we're coming."
What year was that?
And they'd hook us up.
Maybe like 6 years ago,
just right before COVID.
Pre-COVID, yeah.
I'm saying because I lived up there
17.
lived there from 2000.
So they built like a
this was
stone Escondido sized place in fucking Turlock. And that's where
it's massive.
I'm talking about. Yeah, it's big.
You were
it's just funny to hear you guys say
Joe,
that.
you were in San Diego before 2017, right?
Yeah, I moved back down here in 2011. But I was up in the Central Valley from 2005 to 2011.
Joe, we leave no craft beer stone unturned.
I love it.
Like we
Dust
go.
Bowl, I mean,
we go to where the beer is.
Listen, when I lived in the Central Valley, Dust Bowl was like the Pliny the Elder of fucking IPA out there.
Dust Bowl taco truck, dude.
They're good, dude.
They loved
taco
it.
truck Mexican lager. God damn, dude.
So did you go to their big like facility place,
No,
Joe?
never been. But you could go and get bombers at the fucking what store was that? Not Rite Aid, but it was I don't remember. But Dust Bowl had
CVS.
Rite Aid, remember? CVS, Rite Aid. What was the other store? You could get Dust Bowl bombers.
Walgreens?
No.
What?
Alpha Beta.
Alpha
Lucky.
Beta.
Holy shit!
That's a
grocery store.
Oh my god!
My mom worked at Alpha Beta.
Montana, dude. Oh my god!
Amazing. Yeah, I shopped at Alpha Beta.
How have grocery stores been the only thing that stayed regional in a world where like everything is three the same companies now?
You guys had Alpha Beta.
God,
you had
that
Alpha
makes me
Beta
feel
down here?
so weird.
Yeah, we
Alpha
did.
Beta.
Yeah,
bro. My mom worked
Inland
at
Empire,
Alpha
Beta.
That's
where I grocery shopped.
Lucky.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable.
Did you guys have
with
Lucky's
that.
down here?
Yeah,
Did you have Lucky?
Yeah, dude. It's an L Super
It
now.
literally
But
was
yeah.
Alpha Beta and Lucky. That was like the two option.
Lucky's.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's not Lucky's. It's Lucky.
Oh, sorry. We called it Lucky's.
I'm pretty sure it was
We
Lucky.
called it.
Everyone-
Everyone called. Dude, everyone
It's such
called
a
it
California. It's such a California thing is of people adding an apostrophe S to every grocery store.
Plus, they always had that redhead lady on the commercials. The Rose Bowl
Let's go to the
lady.
Alpha Betas.
You know what I'm talking about? The lucky commercial lady, the redhead lady with like the curly hair.
Yeah,
She was like the lady that used to do the Rose Bowl.
totally. Yeah, same lady.
Oh
you guys
God,
know.
who was that? You're right. Who was that?
Stephanie Edwards is her name.
Yes. Oh, she's a treasure. She's so. Yeah.
I love that you guys know Alpha Beta. That's fucking awesome.
Hell
Dude.
yeah, dude.
And
Alpha
people
Beta,
that would,
i.e.
like shopping at
I didn't know
the
that was like a
Trader
Northern
Joe's.
California thing.
No.
San Jose.
Alpha fucking
Beta.
Beta. Wow.
My mom worked there, dude.
Going out to the Aldi's.
And every day you can count on Lucky to lighten the load with
Oh my gosh.
It
look at
is
that
Lucky.
strip.
Load.
Greg's right.
The best.
Oh my God. Look at all
It's
those
not Lucky's.
Cheez-Its and Crispies.
It's Crispies.
Only one flavor back then, not 16 now.
Damn, fucking Costco.
16 flavors of fucking Cheez-Its, each worse than the last.
There's the Asian, token Asian.
Count on Lucky. A low price leader every day.
I don't know why it's
Eating a
only in
lime?
the right headphone.
Why is she eating a line? Good Christ.
Play the fucking Eddie Money song. I wanna go.
Look,
back.
she was eating an Oreo, Greg. Not a lime.
She's like,
that was an Oreo cookie,
dude,
not a lime.
don't eat at the grocery store.
No one eats limes.
Dude,
We're
we,
not
so
allowed
we were
to eat
just,
anything.
go to
You
your
gotta
car.
pay for it first.
that's not true. Joe, we were someone in a group chat the other day was sending pictures of remember the old home run pies?
No, I
Do you guys remember home run pies or like gosh, the hostess pies?
The ones you got at Stater Brothers for 50 cents or a quarter.
Anywhere. And
Yeah.
so like yeah, so
You only
when
have
I
it was
Stater
in, it was
Brothers
in,
in
it was
the
in like a little
Heartland,
bag,
John.
and it was like a usually like
yes, it was like a
crispy
little it was like a
crust
pie
with
that
a
had
fruit
like
inside.
yes.
Dude, I was in a
those?
band in high school in '96, and like we'd end band practice by going to Stater Brothers and getting pies for $1 each.
I mean
and like that's our food.
That's where the
Yeah.
I mean they did a hostess cream pie. It's
Oh
it's
no.
weird even saying that, but yeah, so but we were just talking
in
about
the
when I was a
bakery,
kid.
like I hope it didn't get on the bread.
Yes, it was a hostess thing. Fuck, dude, you guys have to know this.
I hope it didn't get on the bread.
Hold on a second. Was it
Joe said
hostess?
cream pie. and it
Anyways,
went off
You
the
have to
rails.
know this. Green pie.
so I'm saying, so my mom
I'm
would
more of
take
a
me
little
to the grocery
Debbie guy.
Little Debbie's good, but she would
Yeah,
take me
we
to the
grew up
grocery
on a
store.
budget.
I would ask for home run pies, and I would eat them, and then they would when we would check out, my mom would give the checkout person an empty wrapper, and they would scan it, and we'd pay for it. What the fuck was the name of them?
I think that's like there's a.
Hostess
Have you guys ever heard of the show Are You Garbage?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, these.
It's a bunch of new John. You would
Yeah,
like it,
Joe,
'cause
that's
it's
Yeah,
what I'm
like-
hostess
saying.
pies, dude.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you're
so
saying
that's-
Joe, you're saying
Oh, yeah.
you'd eat the pie in the store and then they scan the
Well,
wrapper
and
just
they would
so
scan
you
the
could
wrapper.
pay for it.
Hey, do you remember
Yeah.
the Ninja Turtle one?
No.
I mean, I
No.
remember the Ninja Turtle ice cream with the bubble
From the
gum
ice
eyeballs.
cream, yeah.
No,
trucks.
they had a pie, dude. It was one of those, dude. Here we go. I found this shit.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if I
it
want a
had-
Ninja Turtle
had-
pie.
I mean,
Is
it's
it
the
turtle?
same as
Turtle
that shit,
pies.
but it was fucking Hostess turtle pies, dude. Free sticker inside.
Oh, there's
Wow. Let's host
Filled
this.
with vanilla pudding powder.
Dude, 60 cents, bro.
60 cents.
Look, this guy ate one.
Oh, gross.
He ate one.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's green on the outside. It's fucking custard or some
dude.
shit on side.
My there was a Hostess I don't know, it was like the old, I don't know, like 2-day-old, I don't know. What do you call it?
The like the 1-day-old Hostess.
Yeah.
stores.
There was like a store right by my grandma's house.
The bread's
She'd walk us
perfectly
over
fine,
there.
but technically they couldn't sell it.
And
So you got
she
it
was
for
like,
$1.
"Oh, do you want a little pie?" And then she would
You want
feed
some
me
pie?
kielbasa, and then
You want a pie?
pass and pass. And
My dad
kielbasa.
still buys bread from those places. I forgot where he gets it from, but he's like, I like that really thick bread, and like because my dad had leukemia, and so I had to like take care of him for like a week and a half.
I like how your dad impression
that.
is like a radio DJ voice. Like,
I like
hello
that
out there
big
in Radio
bread.
Land. I like that thick bread.
I don't know how to impersonate
It's
my
in-
dad.
I'm John
let's see.
Holder Sr., and I love that thick bread.
It's in
I
between
would
the sheets.
assume he just
Or
sounds
we
like me.
swear. That somebody's
You don't
still
sound that
hanging out.
different, yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody's
so
still hanging out in the chat.
He's like, I like the thick bread.
What's up,
And I'm like,
ribs
well,
with?
let me get you some thick bread. And so I got him some thick bread from a grocery store, and he's like,
like that
it's
thick
good thick bread, but I like the good thick bread from the place where it's 1 day old.
Ribs
'Cause it
with
co-
remembers.
Because I only have to pay $1. And I'm like, all right, well,
Pepper's Farm remembers. Ribs with
Pepperidge Farm
remembers.
does it.
he's
All right,
like, that's
shit, I
good.
gotta-
The bread you bought is good thick bread.
Oh, yeah.
I remember.
Rizwith being a ride or die, man. He's always here.
I
Appreciate
remember.
you,
Rider.
man. Rizwith, you're fucking OG
Ribs weird.
gangster, dude.
Dude, he goes back to MBT days, man.
Yeah, he's been around.
Woo!
He's been around hanging
What up,
out.
homie?
Cool as
Well,
fuck.
let's right. Homie.
All right, I
need
just
some
got a
food.
text. I got to get out of here. I got to make dinner. Gosh darn it!
Same
Joe,
I
you know what?
I know.
Stop.
It's a
Just-
bottle share, playa.
I
Be a
have
man,
to.
dude.
Come on, playa.
Be a man,
Tell
them.
Sam to make dinner.
dude. He's sick right now, which sucks.
Past. Oh,
By the way,
Oh, really?
he's got his license test on Friday.
Ask one of the teens to make a
Oh.
TikTok recipe.
Can't wait.
is he gonna pass?
Oh, he's a great driver.
Yeah, Daisy
Okay.
got to do her test in 2 months or
Yeah,
1
he's
month.
a really good driver, dude.
Are you
my
waiting until
life
she's
is gonna-
18?
My life is gonna
Yeah, yeah.
change.
I wouldn't. Cool.
What do you mean, cool?
I don't know.
I'm saying He's gonna
You're
be
talking about,
driving
like,
him and
DD
his
stuff,
him and his
right,
brother everywhere.
Oh, so you don't have to drive them places. That's what you're
Just
saying.
drive
I'm
you
saying we
around.
don't have to do anything.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm saying my life is gonna change. It's not gonna be
so
like, oh, I gotta leave.
that
and
means
make sure
more
I
time
do
for
this and-
4B and doing like stuff you
Sure.
want to do. Yeah.
Of course.
So I'm
Nice.
heading down to Joe's next weekend, and we're gonna find 10 of the
Oh
shittiest,
yeah,
God,
shittiest
how long has
malt
it been?
liquors we can find.
We're gonna do some fucking cheaper corner sometime at Joe's house.
Let's do
Maybe
it.
after Sam passes his driving
Over.
test. And
yeah.
yeah.
We
No,
need to
fuck
plan
that.
something.
I'll schedule it right now, Joe.
Dude,
we'll
I'm
talk on
saying
next
we already talked about this week. Like tomorrow, I have to leave and I have to pick up my youngest son and then drop him off.
You're
at
out of
another
town the whole
thing,
week
and
of
then
Thanksgiving, right?
I am out of
after the
town.
23rd?
We leave. Yeah, we leave Tuesday and come back Saturday, so I could do a Sunday show or Saturday night. Playa.
I'll hit you up on IG.
The weekend of the 23rd, I'm on call for work, so I can't do anything. So
The weekend of the 20. That's the weekend before.
before you leave,
To be fair,
Yeah.
if we're doing cheap beer corner, only me and Joe have to get drunk.
John, Jason,
You're-
John has to also
No,
drink.
you should tell what you're saying to John. He needs to hear it.
No.
John needs to hear this.
Dude, Jason. Honestly, I think I'm off the entire week of Christmas. So if you want to like do like a holiday cheap beer thing,
I am also off the entire week of Christmas except for
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
Hey, I could be off.
I'm saying we could do that.
Easy
Let's
as
do
fuck.
that. That would be
Let's do
so
it, dude.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We're doing
Gross.
cheap,
Come
cheap beer
down.
corner in the arcade.
We'll
dude.
do
Greg, you can come
CBC.
I would love to
Yeah.
come down. Yeah, I need to jam right now.
He's
Actually,
gonna fucking E Honda hand slap you.
down. No, I'm gonna download an emulator and learn how to fucking play Dalsim or some shit. if that happens, I gotta fucking do a montage.
Double E Honda on a E Honda. Like
It's like
that's all you gotta do.
Jason, we could do Cheap Beer Corner. We could wear Santa hats. Jason, we could wear Santa hats for the entire Cheap Beer Corner thing. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, if you guys do that, I will get that shit out promptly. Like, editing Cheap Beer Corner is so fucking easy.
Problem is, if it's after Christmas, people are like, Christmas is over. Like,
I don't care. Fuck them. Wear the hats. Let's have fun.
No, evergreen, man. We got to keep that shit on the long tail or whatever.
I guess. Well, thank you to everyone who came out on this Sunday night. We're down to 2 viewers on the YouTubes, but that's fine. And
we love you both.
Our next show, like we're talking about Cheap Beer Corner going into December, but I think the next show will be probably sometime during or after Thanksgiving because Joe's out of town. And
we've got
I have a Firestone Walker Brewmasters Collective pack.
That's another thing. Greg
John
also
and I just picked up
in everywhere
all the Highland Park Hello LAs.
Yes, we have a Hello LA show coming up, and also Greg might have something in the works to shoot to record at everywhere, right? During Thanksgiving.
Waiting on the go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time.